So in November, we read Our Lady of the Flowers by Jean Genet. And it is about queer sex workers in the mid 1900s or the mid 20th century. I didn't finish it because it was really difficult to read. Now, just to give you some info on Jean Genet, French guy, honestly, from France, and he wrote this book entirely on scraps of a paper bag or paper bags while in prison, like with pencil. Apparently he had written it once and then it got thrown out by a guard, and so he wrote it again. And he was in jail for prostitution, petty theft, things like that. And his writing style is really difficult to follow. If you read like anything by James Joyce, Ulysses, his book is compared to Ulysses. It feels very much like you're walking through this dreamy landscape with Jean. And there are moments of clarity where I'm reading a paragraph and I know exactly what's happening. In another split second, you're reading a paragraph and like, who is this? What's happening? The main character's name is Divine, and they are like a cross-dressing sex worker, a better term, and that's how they're referred to in the book. And they work for a pimp named Darling. These names are completely made up, fabricated from the book, and supposed to represent Jean, although it's unclear whether or not he participated in cross-dressing, but obviously he did participate in prostitution. And Divine is sort of supposed to also represent this like divinity or divine character, or this angel, this person who's like cast down and is like forced into muddy territory, we'll say. So like the concept of the book is really interesting, and the difficulties that queer people face being sex workers during that time are laid out in the book, and it's really interesting. This book is also, it taught me a new word, onanistic, which means basically like pertaining to like masturbation or masturbatory moments. And that was a word that somebody used to describe this book. So I don't know if that is enticing you, but it's chaotic. There are no chapters, so it's difficult to know when to stop reading or when a concept is finished. And sometimes there will be like little pauses in the book, and then it just like picks right up. The other thing that's interesting is like Divine. They sort of mentioned throughout the book, but then Jean talks about Divine being somebody else, and it's like their real male name, like given at birth. So it's confusing in that sense. We haven't read a book that is just about queer sex work, and that is this book. But it was a difficult read, and every now and then I'll pick it up and read a few pages, and it like hurts my brain a little bit. I have to put it away. So that was our November book. Read it or don't. If you did read it, or if you have anything to say about it, definitely drop me a comment. Happy reading!